Welcome to Must Drive. This is Dave, and on today's video, I'm going to take you through the process of buying a Tesla. For those that watched my last video and made the decision to buy a Tesla, or if you're just looking for a refresher and buying your second Tesla, today's video is going to be a step-by-step take you through the new and unique process of buying a Tesla. It's a very different experience from buying a normal ICE vehicle, so stick around. Okay, now you've made the decision. It's time to purchase your first sexy car. So here we are at the Tesla.com website. The really cool part is that there are no dealerships involved. And you don't need to get up from your seat. It's all online if you choose. If you don't already have a Tesla account, go ahead and create one. S, 3, X, and Y, as well as the solar roof and the solar panels. So beginning with the Model S, all right. The Model S comes in 3 different versions as of right now. So we have the long range version, which has 402-mile range, 155-mile-an-hour top speed, and 0 to 60 at 3.7. Really nice. The next is the performance, lower range, because it's using some of that energy, and has 387-mile, 163 at 2.3 seconds, which is ridiculously fast. And then last but not least, a tri-motor version, which is the Plaid. This is going to have a different type of battery, which is what gives it that crazy range of 520 plus miles, 200 mile per hour top speed in less than 2 seconds in 0 to 60. I can tell you right now with my Model X that does 0 to 60 in 2.6, it's already insane, so I cannot imagine less than 2 seconds. So today, we're just going to go through and get the Long Range Plus. So let's pick on that option and go next. The ordering process is really pretty quick and simple. Typically, you can do this order in less than 2 minutes. There's not a lot to pick from. Makes it really simple. So now we pick the exterior color. We have the choices between white, I call it a pearl white multi-coat. We have the solid black. We've got a midnight silver metallic, the deep blue metallic, which is really cool looking, one of my personal favorites, and the red multi-coat. So in this case, we're going to go black. And for the wheels, we have 2 options. We have the 19-inch and the 21-inch. Now, there's a lot of differences between these when you talk about performance, and we'll get into that in another video. But for today, we're just going to go with the 19-inch. Tend to be more pothole friendly. You actually get a little bit more range out of these, and they are cheaper. Price included, no extra. All right, so now we go on to the interior. There's only 3 options to pick from. Again, really simplistic. And the reason why they kept the options really limited for Teslas is due to the manufacturing. The less options you have, the easier it is to manage the supply chain, the lower they can keep the costs for the vehicles here initially. I imagine later on they'll get more sophisticated with the options, but for now, it makes a lot of sense why they kept it simple. So we have the all black with the ash wood decor. The other is the black and white, has extreme contrast. And again, there's other videos out there that give you details on how well that white holds up. And then last but not least, the cream with the oak wood decor. So today we're going to go ahead and go with the all black. And again, you'll note it's included. It's not an extra ad. And what this includes is premium audio system. And I got to tell you, their audio systems are killer. They are really top end. Cold weather features, they've got heated seats for every passenger, heated steering wheel, the wiper blades, defroster, even the washer nozzle heaters on the windshield wipers. They got the HEPA air filtration system, which is really good. You'll notice when you're driving Teslas that have this, that you don't get all those smells outside the car. And that includes when you drive by somebody with a fire burning outdoors, or if you're trying to get out of or evacuate some of the wildfires that we've seen as of recent. Then it has this premium connectivity. We'll go into more details on that elsewhere. Music and media over Bluetooth. Location aware automatic garage door opener, lead fog lamps, tinted glass roof and ultraviolet infrared protection. It's got some auto dimming features, heated side mirrors, custom driver profiles that you can program in, and then of course wireless phone charging in the center console. So these items all come standard on the vehicle. Let's go to, I think we're down to the last option. So this one's pretty straightforward in that autopilot is included standard. And what does that mean? It's basically the simple features of cruise control that you're probably familiar with in other vehicles. Ability to maintain its lane while you're on the highway. Then it has an option, full self-driving capability. And this is where it gets really interesting. So this is Tesla's artificial intelligent controlled full self-driving that helps the car drive end to end without user interference. And if you've watched here recently, they're in the beta testing as of the recording of this for the upgraded version of that full self-driving, and it's pretty fascinating. Lots of videos out there, recommend you watch. And so for now, we're gonna not select this option. You'll note that it's a $10,000 adder. And they're going to have the auto steer capability on the city streets and the county roads, etc. shortly. So for now, we're going to not select that. But the cool part is you can pick that anytime after the fact and download it at your leisure with an over-the-air update over Wi-Fi. So we go to next, and here we're at the final details. So we have to enter some information. Tells us our delivery time is going to be 3 to 6 weeks. And for our location, what that means is they're going to deliver to a local service center where we go pick it up. And we'll include some details on that here in this video. And then in some jurisdictions, they'll actually deliver it to your doorstep, drop the vehicle right off out front of your home, which is pretty cool. So let's look at some of the details here, the financing. We got options. We have cash, lease, or loan. So cash, they give you the pricing both ways, both pre and post savings. And those savings come by way of the cheaper pricing and not having to pay for gasoline, as well as any available incentives or credits in your area. And currently for us, there are not any of those available credits. The federal ones were sunset a couple of years ago, and there's currently no state incentives here in Georgia. So if we look at the option here, and again, leasing is not available in all states, but it is here in the state of Georgia. And you can see the amount of money down, how many months, and how many miles per year. And of course, they've got this limit at 10,000. For me personally, that would never work. I love driving. I probably drive 25,000 plus miles a year easily. And then there's also a loan option. The cool part, again, they've got low APR for 72 months. So you can drag this thing out a long way with free money or virtually free. So the cash option, again, we're looking at due today, $100, non-refundable order fee. And then there's a $7,500 down payment that you're going to have to make via wire transfer within, I believe it's a week. And then ultimately, you're going to be making your monthly payments as shown here with loan calculator. So we'll get in and enter some information here and be back shortly. And so here we are. Your Model S order is confirmed. So after you enter your information there and hit submit order, this is what you get. And so you'll receive an order number here. Yes, complete your order. And then they say also, here's some accessories recommended. So continue to account. All right, next we prepare for delivery. So in this section, you get to enter your home address and see whether or not you qualify for home delivery or whether you have to go pick it up at one of the local service centers. In my case, having been through this already once before, I know I'll be going to one of the local service centers to pick the vehicle up. which is actually no problem because even during COVID now, they have a touchless experience where they give you all the related information ahead of time, and it's literally contact free to go and pick up the vehicle, which we'll show later in the video here. Now that you've entered the registration information, it's time for the payment method. And you can decide if you're going to do a trade-in as well, but we're not going to be doing that in this instance. So if we look at financing, you can pick lease or loan depending on your location. Not all states offer the lease option. So in our case, we're going to go with the loan. So Tesla has their own preferred partner network, but you can do self-arranged financing if you choose. It's going to be tough to beat the 2.49% for 72 months, which I highly recommend. It's essentially as cheap as you're going to get on the money. So amount to be financed, you indicate anything from $10,000 to the full amount. They'll indicate what your monthly payment will be. And again, you can modify the monthly payment on the slider bar here as well. So you can modify this however you want to see different options. Again, if you want to pay down a certain amount of the vehicle up front, you have that option. Right now, I'm going to take full advantage of cheap money, which means going to the maximum loan term and the maximum loan amount. So we get 1082 is the estimated monthly payment with amount due $49.26. And so depending on your state, this amount's going to vary. And part of the reason is whether or not you have local sales tax or ad valorem tax in the state. In this case, you can see the total vehicle price. So you have the base price, the long range plus, the color ad, the destination fee, some documentation, and the $100 order fee, which is non-refundable. So the fun part about all of this and ordering and looking at these different options is you literally can go through the website, sort through a whole bunch of these, and even if you decide not to get the vehicle, you have buyer's remorse after the initial order, you just cancel, and the only thing you're going to be giving up is this $100 order fee. Georgia has some additional tax and registration fees here. So again, this is that sales tax number that they bolt on to the vehicle at the time of purchase. And this is true if you change registration and bring a vehicle from out of state into the state, you have to pay that tax at that time. So if you're moving here from another state, same thing. So here's the finance details, the order deposit, and then ultimately the amount due as part of the down payment. So let's click continue. Okay, now you prepare for delivery. After you've entered all your payment and credit information, it goes through a credit application as you would normally expect, and they'll let you know based on their decision. So again, you can predetermine this with your own credit if you have a credit bureau or another source for the loan for the vehicle, or go through Tesla's credit option. Now is where you start reading some of the other fine print. We're not going to run through all that here in today's video, but they do give you the option here, of course, to upgrade to autopilot. You can download the Tesla app on your smartphone and get familiar with that. Typically, you can't activate the app until just before you're going to pick up the car. So there's something that they'll send you in order to activate the app and be able to activate your car, because the app essentially can act like a key for the car. So more on that later. So learning more about the charging, the features, the support videos, the order agreement, and the lemon law disclosure. There's links to all of those here. I do highly recommend that you review those as part of the ordering process if this is your first time. And if you have any other questions, they do have some phone numbers and ability to reach out to them with any questions. And then last but not least, if you want to cancel your order, you do have the time and the ability to do so before you make that down payment. And in this case, all you're losing is a $100 deposit for this Model S. For some of the other vehicles, that non-refundable payment is greater depending on the value of the vehicle. So if you're ordering a Plaid, for example, or perhaps the Roadster or the Semi, they do have a larger deposit, non-refundable deposit amount that applies accordingly. So now when we come back to the main page, we can see the additional Tesla is added right there. And as always, you can click it, go in and manage while it's still processing. And that can include actually changing your order. All right, now for the fun part, prepare for delivery. So we've already entered all these details previously, and when we get closer to the delivery date, which as of right now is estimated for December 13th to December 31st, we will get notified and have the ability to go pick up the vehicle. So the next step here is to provide proof of insurance. They do give a list of states that are exempt from having to list your new Tesla VIN number on the insurance policy. And those states listed here: Arizona, California, and so on. So there's about a dozen of them there that you don't have to list it on. But for the rest of them, you're going to have to wait until you make your final payment and get a VIN number assigned to you, at which point you can then call your insurance company, set up the necessary insurance, and upload those files here to the site. So we'll follow up with those steps next. All right, guys, the day has come. So you're going to get a notice from Tesla. They're going to send you a text message typically or an email that says, Tesla update, your Model S is on the way, and it's going to mention wherever your delivery center location is locally. Please select your appointment now at the following website for your touchless delivery. We'll provide video tutorials and more information on your model prior to your delivery day. So you'll go into the website again here where you have your vehicles, vehicle or vehicles on order, and click on it to manage it and see the additional notifications and steps that need to be taken. So here we go. We're into managing the final steps, and there's actually several steps still to complete this process. So one of them is paying off your down payment on the vehicle. You'll also need to schedule the delivery date. So they'll give you options on the website when you select for the delivery date option, which we've gone ahead and done here. You'll make that payment. They typically only allow a bank account for a wire transfer, so you're not going to be able to use credit cards or Bitcoin or other forms of monetary payments. So you're going to have to make sure that you have money in your bank account in time for this delivery process to take place, because they do require that payment before you take delivery. So another item that you're going to have to do, you're going to have to sign on behalf of yourself, and or if you have a co-signer or a co-owner of the vehicle, both are going to have to do that, as well as upload proof of insurance. So what we did was go ahead and schedule the delivery date after we made payment. So we made sure that we were going to be able to do the payment. That was going to clear. It was pretty much instantaneous just after adding our bank information to the website, which I already had uploaded from the previous purchase. And then you're going to have to get insurance on the vehicle. So we went ahead and scheduled the delivery and then set the insurance to go effective a day prior. That way, when you go to pick up the vehicle, you're not concerned about having any issues when you drive off the lot. And you've got to upload proof of that insurance here in order for it to continue the next step. So we'll go ahead and do that here. So again, we went ahead and dragged and dropped that declaration page for the insurance here on the upload proof of insurance. We went ahead and made final payment. We've got the delivery scheduled for Friday at 11 a.m. and it gives us the location. I went ahead and added that to my calendar. We've gotten several text messages that were telling us that we needed to sign some paperwork, sign into our accounts and sign some paperwork before we could complete all the tasks prior to delivery. However, there was no paperwork on here for us to sign. We responded to several of those text messages. Long story short, what ends up happening is when they get the agreement done and in place and ready, it will show up in your account, and it will happen before delivery day, albeit maybe the day right before delivery day, such as our case. And so they'll give you the lending agreement here, gives you all the details. You go down through that, it'll give you the notice to co-signer. Here's all the details, several other notices. Got to read all that information, review the numbers closely, and then hit accept on the final agreement. So don't worry about the messages that you may get in between time prior to delivery date, because ultimately what ends up happening is they load this all into the system and it's simply hitting a single accept button. And that's probably the biggest takeaway I have out of all the back and forth and the delays and the questions that occur when you're trying to wait to order your Tesla. So here's another confusing part. So we get a text message here that says, your delivery pickup is confirmed for 10 a.m. tomorrow. But then when you come onto the website, you have a delivery appointment that's noted in here with a specific date, location, and time. And that time conflicts with the time that we got via the text message. So we'll have to call them in the morning and confirm whether it's 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. Here's another really useful tip. If you don't see a checkbox next to the items here under next steps, it means there's something still left to be completed. So in this case, the insurance was still shown as incomplete. So I clicked on replace the file and ended up having to enter some information on the policy and then finally re-uploading the declaration page and hitting submit again. And now I have the checkbox. When we go down one, it says on agreements that I need to have my co-signer log into their Tesla account. They also accept the button. And then this part will also show completed. And you'll note below here, final payments also complete. So the key is try and get all these boxes checked prior to going for the pickup. If you don't get these boxes checked prior, what ends up happening is they'll ask you for the related documents, proof of insurance, for example, and having to sign the documents if you haven't already signed them when you go for delivery. So it's not the end of the world if these don't all get done online. The purpose of them, particularly now in 2020, is so that you can have a touchless experience with the pickup in the midst of COVID, and therefore not have to have any of those personal interactions as part of delivery. So again, not the end of the world, but the key is make sure these boxes are checked before you go to do delivery. And it should take you to completed tasks and show that everything is complete and you're ready to go. And you'll note here, now that I've got the other co-signer to agree on their account, all three boxes checked, and we're ready for delivery tomorrow. So congratulations, you've done it. You've purchased your first Tesla. Again, just make sure that you get all the boxes checked on the website. That's the most important part. If any of those are left unchecked, you still have a step that you need to complete. Now you're going to wait for a series of communications from Tesla on text message or email. I received both in my case to coordinate your delivery and pickup dates. It's actually a pretty simple experience and much less haggle than dealing with the traditional ICE dealers. In our next episode, we're going to cover the pickup and delivery experience as well as that first drive in your new Tesla. See you on the next Musk Drive.